أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وشفينا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. My dear respected sisters and brothers in Islam and in humanity, may the peace and blessings of Almighty Allah be with you and members of your family as we bid you Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu and welcome once again to another edition of our Jamaats, Our Land here on IBN Channel 8. This is a weekly presentation seen every Sunday morning at this time and replayed for you on a Saturday morning also at 11 o'clock, where we seek to pass on information and important pieces of information concerning the Jamaats here in Trinidad and Tobago. As you know, there are over 100 Jamaats and masjids in our country, and we firmly believe that if we all follow the same ideology, the same beliefs and the same practices, one day, inshallah, we shall all be flying under the same flag of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Praise be to Almighty Allah. Thanks to Brother Inchan Ishmael and Brother Haseeb Majid and all members of staff here at IBN who work very hard to ensure that this station remains on air every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year for so many years, dealing with the deen of Almighty Allah and bringing people together for the cause of Islam. May Almighty Allah accept your sacrifices. We also have to thank those of you at home and our advertisers who support this program on a financial basis. Thank you all very sincerely for your contribution for keeping IBN on air for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's take a look at our Islamic calendar. When we do, we see that we have in fact started the new Islamic year of 1445. Today it is a very significant day, the 5th of Muharram. We have just started the Islamic year 1445, and the month of Muharram will continue until the 29th of Muharram, which will be on the 16th of August, Wednesday the 16th of August. And according to our calendar, we may not see the new moon, which will indicate the end of the month of Muharram and the beginning of the month of Safar. So we expect more than likely that Muharram will have 30 days, and the first of Safar will be on Friday, the 18th of August. But that's speculative in nature. We still have to look out for the new moon. So today on our program, brothers and sisters, as we have just completed, and we're getting closer to the celebration of Muharram and the tragedy of Karbala and other similar activities, and we just passed the time for the Hijrah and so on. We have on our program this morning via telephone the Imam of one of the very important Jamaats in our country, Imam Khalid Mohammed. Assalamu alaikum, Imam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Now, Imam Khalid is the Imam of the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxon Bay. How are things in Claxon Bay, Imam?
Alhamdulillah, all is well by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
We'll be trying to get a little history on your masjid, the Soledad Road, also known as Samsam Hill Jamaat in Claxon Bay. When was this masjid first constructed?
This first constructed in 1961. It was a small wooden structure that was put up to accommodate the members of that community.
And when was it rebuilt?
There was a concrete structure. 1972-73, they erected a concrete structure. Of course, it was a small concrete structure, and then it grew to be a bigger one as it is today.
Right. Can you remember the name of the first Imam?
Yes, the name of the first Imam, Sabali Imam.
And can you remember any subsequent Imams before you became Imam?
Yes, they had, before me what I've had after Sabali Imam, we had one Nasrul Muhammad, who was one of the sons of Sabali Imam.
Right.
And we had also a brother by the name of Hakim Khan.
Right.
And after him, we had the late Keet Jahur.
Keet Jahur, right.
And after Keet Jahur, we had an Imam from Charleville area, Sharad Khan.
Right.
And then I came into position.
And how long have you been Imam at the Masjid al-Araf?
Since the ending of 2019.
Okay.
That's just the beginning of the COVID period.
Okay, so you have gone through a very difficult time with your Jamaat. But
with the COVID period, yes.
yeah, now you belong you are an Asja Masjid. Which region is that?
Yes, Region B.
And what are some of the other Jamaats in your region?
We have Claxton Bay Jamaat, we have Prisal, we have Balmain, Dow Village, California.
Right.
We have
That
and we
area.
have in Freeport as well. Yes, that area, that community.
Can you remind us of some of the names of the early members of your Jamaat, the families who were there part of the Masjid al-Araf?
Sure. Well, this was started off, we had one brother by the name of Nurul Islam, who was a migrant from India. And together with him, the person who donated the land was the first Imam. His name was Sabali Miah.
Right, yes, right.
And this Sabali Miah also, he was the father of one of the Imams, Imam Nasrul.
Right.
And presently, one of the sons of Sabali Imam is alive. His name is Najir Muhammad.
Right.
He's popularly known as Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul, right.
And together, Uncle Paul. So we had Sabali Imam, we had Nurul Islam, we had Deen Husseini and Rahimul Muhammad. So these were basically the founding members of that Jamaat.
The Jamaat. Now, at the structure, the land that the mosque is on now, who owns that land? Is there a trusteeship or a management committee or something?
The land was donated by Sabali Imam.
Right, yes,
so
right.
basically, the trustees are the Asja.
Or the Asja. But do you have a management committee in the masjid?
Yes, we do have a management committee that looks after the affairs.
Right, and you are head of that committee, I suppose.
Yes, well, I'm holding that position of the Imam, and then we have the president, whose name is Shafraz Mohammed, and then we have a vice president and secretary and so on.
Right. Now, you have a sisters group, a youth group in that masjid?
We have a sisters group and a youth group, yes. The sisters group is headed by the late Imam's wife. Her name is Farida Jabul.
Right.
And from time to time they have their practices. So, for example, they had the program just a few weeks before Ramadan. They had a social evening.
Right.
Yeah. And inshallah, we plan to have some programs with them, some educational programs in addition to some
and what do you have
programs,
in operation there for the young people of the area, young Muslims?
We have, at present, we have a youth group. The leader of that youth group is Irfan Islam, and a sister, one of his cousins, Aziza Islam.
Right.
So we are in the process of planning some program.
Right.
Some educational program for the youths.
Very good.
And we're looking at things like leadership training for them. This is for the youths, and also some social and recreational program as well, self-development program.
And what other activities do you have in your Jamaat in terms of religion and Islamic knowledge and so on?
Well, we have a weekly class that we started so that we do on a weekly basis. I mean, the class right now, we're on a break. So the classes we teach, learning to recite the Quran, and basic things like Tahara and Salat and so on. And also the Maktab class.
Right.
On a monthly basis, we have a monthly lecture.
Right. Now, what happens at your masjid during the month of Ramadan?
During the month of Ramadan, every evening, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we gather maybe about half an hour or so before the breaking of the fast, and we recite Quran, and we use the opportunity to share some words of reminders. And then we break fast as a Jama. Everyone break fast together. And then we will pray Maghrib, and then all of us will have dinner together. On the days that families are not sponsoring iftar, the Jama sponsors. So we have iftar and dinner every day, by the grace of Allah.
And how do you celebrate Eid at your masjid?
So on the day of Eid, we have one brother who would sponsor doubles and aloo pie and sehina and so on. So after the Eid Salat, everyone will just come in front. Do we have a nice shed in front that we will all gather? We have the sisters will make sawain, so we will have sawain and we will have these Indian delicacies. And we spend some time eating and socializing there. And then after maybe an hour or so after the Eid Salat, we disperse to families.
Right. Well, we just came out of Eid al-Adha. What's happening at what happened at your mosque for Eid al-Adha?
At Eid al-Adha time, after the Salat, basically what we have is that we have quite a number of members that take share in India. So after the Salat, everybody would go on their way. Those who do their Qurbani at home or do take share other places, they will go there.
So there's no Masjid Qurbani per se?
No, we don't have any Jamaat
Right,
Qurbani.
okay, that's fair enough, yeah. And your Jamaat is a member of the ASJA, I asked you?
Yes, we are a member affiliated to the ASJA, Region B.
That's what. Now, if I'm coming down the highway from, let's say we're coming from Samoa, we're coming from North, or we're heading southbound on the highway, how do I get to Samsam Hill Masjid al-Araf Jamaat?
Okay, so coming down the northbound, and when we pass what we know as the Freeport flyover, we pass Freeport flyover, we will come to Presal flyover. After Presal flyover, a short distance from there, we have what used to be the Children's Hospital, now the Koval Hospital on the left.
Right.
The very next flyover we meet, we're going to turn off the highway on that flyover.
Okay,
that flyover is known as the Forest Park or the
Claxtonby flyover, right?
Yes. So we come off and we turn in right. So we turn in right and we're proceeding in a westerly direction. And maybe about 2 minutes drive from there, the landmark we're looking for is AM Marketing.
AM Marketing, right.
Yes, AM Marketing is the landmark. It's a huge business place on the left-hand side. About 5 buildings after AM Marketing, we have this road, Soledad Road North. And so we turn in left, we turn in into that road. And we drive, as soon as we drive about maybe 30 seconds or so, we ascend the hill. So we ascend the hill and the hill goes in an S. As soon as we ascend the hill and we make the S, we have on the left-hand side Mount Pleasant's Government Primary School, and obliquely opposite that on the right, the masjid is located.
Okay. Now we recently had on our program Imam Hafiz Baksh of the Masjid al-Salam, La Sophie Road.
Yes.
That's not far from you?
Claxtonby.
That's not far from you?
It's not far.
Okay, so you work in close collaboration with Imam Hafiz Baksh?
We would like to have some more work together, inshallah, yes.
What happens at your mosque when it's time for the Prophet's birthday and the other activities, functions like that and so on?
Okay, during that time, we want education is important, especially about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we have functions. We have function celebrating what we call the Miladun Nabi. We have, of course, someone giving a lecture about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also during that period of time, during the month of Rabiul Awwal, the khutbahs we'd like to share more information about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we use the khutbahs for that purpose as well.
Very well. So Imam, before we wrap up, I know you have a very busy schedule and you have some online classes with Maulana Nasser to go and attend to. But is there anything else you'd like to say about your Jamaat that we left out perhaps?
Our Jamaat is a very family-oriented Jamaat, and there are work, as we know, the COVID had caused everyone to be more secluded with their families, but now we are asking brothers and sisters to come out, and we have some programs that I would like to look at, inshallah. And these programs, educational program for the youths and the sisters and the brothers, and the leadership training, social programs.
Inshallah.
And one of the things I would like to focus on as well is the family. The family is very important. So the family in two aspects. One is relationship with husbands and wives, or fathers and mothers, and then family and children. Inshallah. So those are some things that I am putting in place, inshallah, some of the programs to do in the coming future, inshallah.
Well, Imam Khalid Mohammed, I want to thank you very sincerely for these few minutes you have been able to spend with us here on IBN, talking about your very important Jamaat, Masjid al-Araf of Soledad Road in Claxtonby. Thank you very sincerely, and assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. Well, we have been speaking with Imam Khalid Mohammed of the Masjid al-Araf, Soledad Road in Claxtonby, and he did manage to send along some photographs with us. So let's see if we can go through these photographs about some of the activities at his masjid. Here he had a function recently honoring some of the elders at Masjidul Araf, and they gave out some plaques and some well-deserved appreciation to members of the Jamaat. Honoring the elders in your Jamaat is a very important part of any Jamaat activities. And here we have Imam Khalid at the microphone giving his speech in connection with this gentleman. We have another of the senior citizens getting his special plaque and the awards and so on being presented to members of the Masjidul Araf in Soledad Road in Claxton Bay. And even the youngsters were involved to present some of the prizes. Here we have some of the personalities getting this award honored by the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay. We congratulate all those who received the awards for their efforts in the Jamaat, and all the families. As the Imam said, it's a family-oriented Jamaat, and we have to congratulate all of them for their very dedicated and hard work towards the success of the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay. We have to salute the Imam. You see the beautiful hall of the Masjidul Araf in Soledad Road in Claxton Bay, and we have some of the sisters who are involved in the activities. Really a family-type Jamaat with a strong Muslim heritage, and they're working very hard to maintain the practices of Islam and to ensure the brotherhood and sisterhood remains and everyone comes together. That is the whole purpose of the Jamaat, where your masjid becomes the spiritual community center, not only to read namaz, but to have little events to bring families and friends together to remind each other of the greatness of Islam and the life of our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we continue to show some of these wonderful family pictures of members of the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay. These are the ladies group, and they are getting their prizes. Some hard-working sisters. The sisters are the backbone of every single Jamaat in Trinidad and Tobago. So today, whilst we may not be calling their names, we salute all of the sisters of the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay, and may Almighty Allah accept their sacrifices. Here's a sister participating in a function. One of the functions, another sister, that's a Qasida book she has in her hand, so she's reciting her Qasida. Some more of the sisters at the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay, a very hard-working Jamaat, and we congratulate them for their efforts. These are the children of the Maktab in Masjidul Araf, Sam Hill, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay. These are the Maktab students who graduated from their Maktab classes, young, and they're not so young, and they're very young. They are all children of Masjidul Araf, Sam Hill in Claxton Bay. I assume these are some prize winners, some people who completed their graduation and so on at the Islamic classes conducted at the Masjidul Araf, Sam Hill in Claxton Bay. We congratulate these people. And here, these are the children who are in the Maktab, and they're holding up a historic Al-Hikmah magazine with Brother Hamzad Mohammed at the background. He's well known in the San Fernando Astra Primary School and the San Fernando Jamaat with the children. And this is the Imam Khalid Mohammed addressing his audience, members of his Jamaat at the Sam Hill, Soledad Road, Masjidul Araf, Claxton Bay. Now these are awards that were presented. We just saw to Brother Yunus Ali. This was done in Ramadan of this year, just after Ramadan, just after Eid rather. Brother Nazir Khan, Brother Najir Mohammed, in appreciation of the service and support to Soledad Road Jama. Yunus Islam, I hope I pronounced that right. Samsuddin Ali. Our next awardee was Zahid Mohammed, Masjidul Farid Mohammed, Nazif Hussain, Juman Khan, Abu Bakr Islam, Shazad Mohammed, Rahima Mohammed, Bibi Fazina Khan, Rashida Ali Hussain, Fazina Khan, Hatima Khan, Salisha Ali, Nazra Khan Mohammed, Shahida Khan Rupnarain, Salima Khan, Zahira Shah, Yasmin Mohammed, Farida Jahur, Zahora Sahadat, Nazrun Hussain, and these are all members of the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay, also known as the Samsam Hill Jamaat in Claxton Bay. I'm going to thank again Imam Khalid Mohammed and all members of his Jamaat. It seems to be a beautiful Jamaat with some beautiful Muslim men and women and children. And we hope and pray Almighty Allah will accept their sacrifices and all that they do at the Masjidul Araf, Soledad Road in Claxton Bay. Our Jamaat for today on our program, Our Jamaats Awla. Now, as we just mentioned to you a short while ago, brothers and sisters, we just started the new Islamic year 1445, and we are in the early days in the month of Muharram. And pretty soon we have to be talking about the tragedy of Karbala and so on. We'll have functions for that all over the country. But today, for the remainder of our program, we want to present a few Islamic videos for you, which will remind you of the greatness of Almighty Allah and how He is our creator and sustainer and our cherisher. And this is what happens when you go into Jannah. You will see the face of Allah.